Another day, another dollar. Another day, another film session, as my boy Jonathan Williams already commented in the pre-show chat we got going over there. I've never had anything like this where I haven't even started and we got 20, 30 people back there sitting, just waiting for it to go live, man. It just shows me how much you guys really enjoy this. And you know what? As I keep saying, I'll keep saying it over and over again. I enjoy doing these. Is it hard work? Absolutely. But do you guys love it? 100%. Does that mean I'm going to continue to give it to you? Absolutely. You're going to keep getting them as long as I can. So as you guys know that have been here, we're rocking the Bravos. Got the Deion Sanders on tonight, the Jacksonville State. But anyways, as I was saying, last couple of nights we've had some issues with YouTube, and rightfully so. Here's the deal: what YouTube doesn't want us live streaming the ESPN broadcast tonight. We shouldn't have that issue. This isn't the ESPN broadcast. This is all 22 that I've ran down, just like we did last week with Auburn. And if you guys didn't watch last Wednesday's show, you missed out on a lot of stuff. I think last Wednesday's show was our least viewed show of the week. But to me, it's the most vital. It's really how you understand what Georgia's ultimately going to be seeing this coming up week from Tennessee. And look, we'll do these throughout the year, prefacing the next opponent. But we don't really watch Georgia on offense from last year because, well, they're a totally different offensive unit from a year ago. Whereas on defense, they're pretty much the same personnel unit. They got some new additions, obviously lost J.R. Reed, but apart from that, everyone pretty much is still on the team with some new additions, minor changes, right? Subbing out Tyler Clark for Jalen Carter, things like that. Michael Barnett going out, Devontae Wyatt stepping up, playing a much bigger role this year in 2020. So those little adjustments are something that you need to pay attention to, obviously, but offensively, everything's changed. So there's no point in us watching last year's tape, in my opinion, against teams like Tennessee, like we're going to be doing tonight. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to show you what Tennessee looked like last year, what they were trying to do offensively, what their identity is, just like we did last week with Auburn. And then Saturday, you're going to see these same things pop up, and you're going to be like, oh, I know what's coming. Brooks told me on Wednesday, this is what's probably going to happen. This is what they're trying to do. This is their MO. This is how they operate in terms of Tennessee. So I appreciate you guys for being here. As you guys know, tons of comments flying through these things throughout the night. We'll only probably address the super chatters. So that's how you guys support me, at least financially. Again, I put a lot of hard work in these things. I don't ask for money. I'm not going to, this is the only reminder I'm going to give you. If you want to do it, like we had a couple people last night, feel free to do so. If not, your own prerogative. I know it's 2020. COVID sucks. Money's a little tight for everybody, just as it is for me. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's share this stream right here. All right. So the first thing I noticed upon going back and rewatching what Tennessee did last year against Georgia is the fact that, Jim Chaney, this dude is diverse in his run game schemes. I haven't seen guys, look, everybody runs inside, outside zone. Everybody runs power. Everybody runs counter, things like this. Pruitt and Jim Chaney up here in Tennessee, they do some run schemes that I really haven't seen in quite some time, at least up front, how they're doing it. Okay, and we're going to show you throughout the night, starting with what we're going to look at right here. I believe, no, this is just the movement. We're gonna show you some stuff later. I want you to see just the movement of what these guys get up front on this offensive line. This is what Georgia's going to be faced with, and this is why Kirby Smart said that this might be their biggest test of the season. Watch these two guys, and even this backside combo looks pretty good. Look how far down the line of scrimmage they're getting. Literally none of these defensive linemen from Georgia is doing what defensive coordinators ask them to do, which is reset the line of scrimmage. So if you're a defensive lineman, a young defensive lineman, you've got to do what we call resetting the line of scrimmage, which means taking your guy and pushing him backwards, making that line of scrimmage move backwards, creating another simpler word for that, penetration. Georgia's not doing it right here. They create a big alley and hit the hole there. Now, what I want you to see, though, is we call this inside zone arc or arc zone. And what I mean by that is typically in zone coverage or zone schemes, if you can see my cursor here, everybody's taking a step to the right and getting on their 45-degree angle, driving down the field and moving the line of scrimmage this way on a 45-degree angle. typically the running back is taught to aim at the inside of the guard's butt right here. So if I could draw this up, the running back's going to take a step here and then get flat or vertical down the line of scrimmage, just not vertical, but the 45 angle, just like the offensive line. And what it ultimately does is it'll create channels and create holes. The Denver Broncos in the 90s made a living off of this play and stretch zone. Kyle Shanahan in the NFL, this is all they run. If you guys watch the Falcons back in 2016-17 time period, this is what their run scheme was based off of. Now, the reason Tennessee, I think, does it different than everybody else is they almost key off the backside guard. Now, this is arc zone, and what I mean by that is everybody's running inside zone this way. The wide receiver they just motioned into the backfield is arcing for the first man outside the box, and is supposed to create a channel out here in this direction. But Trayvon Walker blows this up, and the running back, you see how he's keying this way, but he sees the overhang, and now he's got to get vertical this way. But this play is designed to hit this way in this arc zone scheme where everybody else is running inside zone to the right. It's just really not something that you see college football teams do nowadays. Nowadays, everybody's just standard inside zone. And Tennessee does things like this, but when you're preparing for them, not only do you have to prepare for 1 and 2 tight ends, which that's going to change, the change in personnel in 2020, we're going to show you here in just a little bit. But this week might be 2 offensive linemen because their tight end room is just, I mean, for lack of a better term, it's abysmal. They just really don't have guys that can get the job done. So what they do is they've got 9 quality offensive linemen. So they play the 5, and then they bring in 2 extra ones into the formation. But this is what I'm talking about. And we're going to show a much better clip later on this arc zone, but I don't see teams doing this anymore. Not only are they under center, which this year they probably won't be. I saw Garantano. I watched all of them against Missouri last week. Garantano's more in the shotgun, but it's still the same principles. They're just more in a pistol set or in a regular halfback to the left of the quarterback type of set. Let's move on to the next play. 59. Yeah, that's that all 22. All right. This clip has nothing to do with Tennessee. It has everything to do with Richard LeCounte. If you guys know me, if you followed me for a while, you know I might be Richard LeCounte's biggest fan. I mean, that's just the honest thing. I don't think there's anybody that thinks higher of what I do of Richard LeCounte. And here's a reason why. Watch this dude run the alley. Look at nobody but this guy. Look at the speed in which he plays with and how fast he unzips his feet coming downhill and making this physical tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Look, he is, 14 yards deep, and he's going to meet this guy at the 38-yard line. Watch it from the tight and just look. And when I say running the alley, this is what I mean. This alley right here. There's wide receivers blocking a corner out here. This is the alley. If you want to play in the NFL, you got to be able to come downhill and do this right here. And it's exactly what he does, relentlessly all day long in the run game. We had somebody ask last night what I thought about safeties leading your team in tackles. Well, this is why right here, because they've got safeties like Richard LeCounte. That right there to me is bonkers. Look, we already got the comment. Man, you guys are picking stuff up. I like you, Jeremiah_Stodd. You were here last night. Most of you guys, I feel like we got a pretty good retention on the audience here. But this also gets really bounced out because Tay Crowder is just blitzing this A-gap. Now, this is the other thing you'll see from Tennessee. When they're running stretch zone and toss sweeps, things like that, they like to pull the first uncovered offensive lineman on the front side. So for here, the tight end's obviously covered. Wanye Morris obviously covered. Trey Smith completely uncovered. So watch what he does. He pulls and skip pulls and gets out on the edge and helps seal the edge. That's something, again, that I like to do it. I love to do it when I was playing offensive line. If I'm uncovered and we're trying to get to the outside, there's no sense in me trying to, because what most teams do is they try to tell Trey, hey, take your outside zone steps and try to beat Tay Crowder to the point right here. It's not going to happen. That guy's got way more athleticism than me. So what I can do, it's very, very similar to what we talked about last night when we talked about losing ground to gain ground. It's all about playing with leverage, right? And not just low pads. I'm talking about leverage on the field. If we can get out here and get to an outside shade, now we've got leverage. We're going to 201. All right. Now, Georgia, everybody thinks Georgia does this to force false starts with the movement. And yeah, they do. They get a lot of false starts out of it. But what it also does is watch Brian Maurer right here. So Brian Maurer's coming to the line of scrimmage. He's checking to an inside zone, and then boom, the defensive line shifts over. So what's Maurer have to do? He has to come back and go, oh, well, shoot. Now I got to come back down here. They were trying to run inside zone to the left. Let's watch it from the top. They're trying to run the ball this way to the left. But as soon as he gets set and calls it, they bump again. So now what's he got to do? You guys have played Madden before. We're going to bump the left analog stick the other way, and we're going to send it the other direction. But guess what Georgia does? They just shift. And did you see the movement right here from Michael Barnett? Watch him. They got it licked, man. They know exactly what's happening. So he points at Tay, and watch what Tay Crowder does. As soon as they go to run inside zone to the right, boom, he fires. Now, it should have been what we call a fan call in the offensive line world. The center should have been by himself. The guard should have been working out to the defensive end, and the tackle should have been working out to the blitzing linebacker. Instead, they don't really block anybody, and it's stuffed. But to me, this all happens because of the motion. Calling inside zone left, trying to get everybody licked up. Oh, crap. They just shifted. Now we have to come back down and move it again. See, it doesn't just give you the ability to maybe create some false starts. What it also does is it changes everything. It changes the point identification, which we've covered in YouTube breakdowns here before. It changes the combination blocks on the offensive line. It changes the launch point and the aiming point of the running back. It changes absolutely everything, all with just a minor switch. Here we go. 224. All right, here's what I do know about. Oh, dang. How about some constructive criticism? Ooh, I'll try to stop clicking my teeth. My bad, buddy. Sorry, it's annoying, Bionic. Ooh, a little testy there, Bionic. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. That was a joke. Here we go. Let's get into, actually, we got a question right here. Love it. Look forward to hearing why UT O-line is a huge challenge for our D. Last week, it was Auburn. Absolutely. I do think this offensive line, especially with what we're going to show you here in a little bit about how they're adding people on, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. But here's the other thing. I guarantee you Tennessee hasn't seen anything like what Georgia has coming their way. So I appreciate you. What's that? Dave in Arizona, all the way out from the West Coast. Appreciate you, brother. That's mad love here on the live stream. We appreciate you being here, my man. Let's get back to it, though. So what I do know about Jim Chaney here is that this dude is going to take shots, okay? And he's going to go after Richard LeCounte, because not only was he in that war room with that coaching staff just a few years ago and knows that Richard LeCounte's an instinct-based football player, but Jim Chaney also loves to take shots. And I mean loves to take shots. So what they do right here is they know they're getting some type of zone down here at the bottom. Okay, you see DJ Daniel kind of hanging out in the bubble in the flat area right here. He's going to carry number one into Richard's area. They're just going to post corner him right there. Boom, boom. And this is the biggest touchdown of the season that Georgia gave up, I believe, all year. It's a 75-yard bomb right here. Freshman quarterback, I believe Maurer was last year. So this is what you're going to get. You're going to get, heavy run, like real heavy run. Look, they're in 11 personnel, tight end in the game. I mean, they're trying to make it look as run heavy as they possibly can. First down, boom, we're going to hit Richard LeCounte on a double move, and we're going to try to, expose him and get his eyes wrong. That's exactly what happened. Richard's in it again. I'll say it over and over again. Love him to death. Love watching him play. He's instinctual. He's trying to come down here and bust this post right here, and they just hit the corner on him. Simple post corner, double moving, a really good football player who's got a chance at an All-American season this year. Exactly. We got Wendell Barfield in here saying Chaney knows Richard's tendencies. And here's the deal. I believe almost everybody in this conference at this point knows Richie's tendencies. If I'm being 100% honest, they've seen this guy play for 4 years now. They know exactly what it's going to be. They know, it's a catch-22 with him. You're going to get very, very big plays, but you're also going to get some blunders like that every once in a while. But this was really the only one I saw him have last year. And we saw one last night with him jumping around on Arkansas or Auburn, but luckily enough, they didn't hit it. We don't need to really watch that. We're going to 443 right here. Did we catch the down and distance? What was it? 3rd down and 10. All right. It's 3rd and 10 right here. Oh, this is what I was saying on Twitter today. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I said that Georgia, their ability to disguise defenses and disguise coverage is absolutely beyond elite. If you just looked at this, you really don't know what they're giving. You've got a too-high shell, which you would assume that this is Richard and this is JR. You would assume that Richard's got this half of the field and JR's got this half of the field. They're basically both standing on the hashes. So as a young quarterback, you come to the line of scrimmage. Now, Garantano is starting this week, and for the rest of the season has played fairly well this year, but they're not really asking him to do a whole bunch because they're running so heavy. I think I looked on their college football reference the other day. I think they're running the football 42 times a game and throwing it just like 25 or 26 times a game. So they're really not asking him to do a whole bunch right now through the first 2 games. But it's still going to be confusing because when you come to the line of scrimmage, to me, if I'm walking to the line of scrimmage right now, I see the corner squared up he's got his eyes inside, which is a little concerning. The linebacker right here walked out man-to-man, it looks like, man-to-man indicator. We got Mark Webb, I believe this is, out here lined up directly over his guy. And we got what looks to be Eric Stokes or DJ Daniel out there on his guy. Actually, I think this is Eric Stokes and that's DJ Daniel. Nonetheless, if I'm the quarterback walking to the line of scrimmage, it looks like cover 2, man under. You guys play Madden, cover 2, man underneath. Everybody looks like they got man underneath. And look, they even show man tendencies when they move the back. The linebacker moves with them, right? Everybody's giving man tendencies. But watch, boom. As soon as the ball snapped, Richards rolling down. JR is bailing to the middle of the field, hit butt to the sideline from Eric Stokes, butt to the sideline from DJ Daniels. This is cover 3. And just a second ago, it looked like cover 2, man under. See what I'm saying when I say their ability to just switch up in the middle of the game or middle of the snap it makes it really, really tough on a quarterback because now you've got to be reading safeties post-snap while you're also, trying to get the ball out of your hands. They do a good job here throwing a catchable football. But what I also want you to see here is, look, everybody's been on Adam Anderson the last couple of days. They're like, oh, my God, where did Adam Anderson come from? Look, guys, Adam Anderson's been getting after the quarterback for 3 years now, 2 years now. People just hadn't really been paying attention because he hadn't been getting home. But they've been designing up stunts and blitzes for Adam Anderson to get free for at least 2 seasons now when I watch on tape. This is him on the end right here. Let's watch it from the tight because that's when you can really see it. Now, this looks like a 3-man surface. They're playing Trayvon Walker over the shade. They're playing, I believe this is Devontae Wyatt right here, and Adam Anderson right here. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to tell Trayvon Walker to attack through the right or the left shoulder of this center into the left guard. Aziz is just going to give a straight speed rush out on the outside. Now, Devontae Wyatt's going to press B gap and then immediately try to take the attention of both of these guys while they wrap Adam Anderson into B gap right here. Watch it. I mean, that's executed absolutely beautifully right there. And what we talked about last night of rushing for your teammates, Trayvon's doing a great job right here. Now, first of all, 55, I don't know what he is doing because I've got 3 guys over here. I don't care what they throw at me post-snap. I've got to be working back to my right. So what you do is you deliver that to your guard. Once you deliver it, your job's done, brother. Stop, doing somebody else's job. Do yours. You've got to get your eyes back into backside A gap so we don't give up that right there. Maurer does a good job getting the ball out, though, or else that would have been a big hit. 531. All right. So you see this package right here. All I've got in my notes is remember this package. Let's watch it from the tight, actually. There's really no point in even watching the play, even though it's a good design. I like what Chaney's doing right there, but let's watch it from the tight. This week, I promise you, this is what's going to happen. So see how they got number 4 in here and number 81 in here? Throw it out. Absolutely throw it out. What they're going to do this week, I presume, is they're going to have 2 big old fat offensive linemen with number 98 and number 96 on. We're going to show you a picture over here in a second on another formation that they're going to do it in. They're taking jumbo to a whole nother level up at Tennessee this year. They've decided, look, we don't have good enough tight ends. Nobody can really hold the edge on our tight ends, especially against a team like Georgia. So what we're going to do is we've got some daggum good offensive linemen, and we're deep. And we've got some young guys that need to get playing time. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw out the tight ends almost entirely. We're going to play Cade Mays' little brother Cooper, and I don't know who the other joker is that they got put in a 90 jersey, but they don't even have names on the back. They switched these jerseys during the game in case guys got to come onto the field. But they're going to run this scheme. They're going to do this with big, heavy offensive linemen. So here's what I think George is going to do. I think George is going to say, okay, you want to bring these guys that we know you're not going to throw the football to? Right now, I think they got on the field. I think this is Aziz. This is maybe Jordan Davis or Devontae Wyatt. That's Julian Rochester and David Marshall. I think what they end up doing is playing their starting unit, which is guys like Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt, Aziz Ojulari, Malik Herron, and then taking a DB off the field and adding a guy like Trayvon Walker or adding a guy like Jalen Carter and putting them on the end of the line of scrimmage and saying, if you want to do that, go ahead. Or maybe you see Kirby just add another linebacker into the box. They never played 3 inside linebackers ever. Heck, they hardly played 2 outside linebackers on the same field at the same time. So that I think that's the type of adjustment you're going to see when Georgia sees this personnel run onto the field. Again, 2 tights right here. They're running 12 personnel. This is going to be 2 offensive linemen this week. I can guarantee you, unless they're trying to get the ball off to one of these guys and throw the football. And here's the formation I really, really want you to see. I believe this is it. Yes. All right. You see this? This is basically a modern wing tee. Now, they got these 2 tight ends here. I believe this is 4 and this is 81. Well, I can promise you this is what it's going to look like on Saturday. If you can see this picture right here. This, I believe, is Cooper Mays. One of these is Cooper Mays. The other one's another backup offensive lineman that they got. Again, they just threw out everything there is about tight ends. And they said, all right, screw it. We're just going to bring big old jokers on out here. Now, last year, they liked to pull this tight end. Or one of these, see him pulling right here? Last year, they liked to pull this tight end. This year, instead of blocking out with Wanye Morris, what they do is they take this big old joker that's playing this extra offensive line, kind of tight end style. They block out this way. They block out with Trey Smith, and then they pull Wanye Morris into frontside C-gap. Those are the little minor adjustments I see. Everything else, formation-wise, identity-wise, what they're really trying to do has not changed apart from one thing that I'm going to show you in terms of their run schemes. I think in 2020, they are a much more downhill running football team. They want to get downhill. They don't want to do this stuff. They don't want to stretch and run. They know their team speed isn't all that great. They want to come downhill, and they want to hit you in your mouth. We're going to 7-14. All right, 2nd and 12 right here. What are we looking at? Oh, I know what we're looking at. This is kind of a, appreciate you, Josh Morris. No question. If you got a question, go ahead and send it in, Josh. Josh will hit on it. If you're just throwing some donation, I appreciate you. Much love from the homie. All right. What I don't like right here is the alignment from Richie. And maybe there's a reason. This is a straight up touchdown. What they're going to do is they're running a skinny post right here from the number 3 wide receiver that's really flexed in. He's not flexed out at all. He's almost an extended tight end. Everybody's in man-to-man. Look, man, man, man. Everybody chest up, hands down, checked in, like they're playing man-to-man defense. Now, what I don't get is this alignment from Richie. Why are we outside the hash when we're into the boundary and we've only got one threat over here. If anything, we ought to be standing on the hash, you know? And watch what ends up happening. They're playing outside leverage with J.R. Reed right here. All that space is where Brian Maurer's going. There's no question about it. And Richie's too late to get over there. So what I thought immediately when I saw it was, okay, maybe Richie's got run responsibilities. Maybe he's got C-gap over here, or maybe he's just the alley defender or whatever. But they're in cover one, and here's how I know he doesn't have run responsibilities. Watch him. He opens up before the play fake's even done. So he knew he was supposed to be over there. The alignment's just not correct. If he would have been standing over the hash right where I believe he's supposed to be, watch what he did. He probably picks this ball off. Instead, it's a touchdown. So those minor little things. And this must be something they've been doing, because otherwise they wouldn't have. I doubt Chaney's calling this play, because it's simple. It's a bang 8. We know Georgia's giving outside leverage. Let's just get inside and hit it for a touchdown. All right, remember when I was telling you at the very beginning of the show how they run inside zone much different than everybody else? This is this arc zone again. This is how it's supposed to hit. So they got one tight end, another flexed into his butt, and look what they're going to do with the wide receiver. They're going to stack every single one of those guys right there on the end of the line of scrimmage. Now, they're going to do this, but again, I think this is just going to be an additional offensive lineman. Maybe they bring a tight end onto the field because they have to play some of them at some point, and maybe not be so run heavy indicated. But then they motion one of their big wide receivers who's no longer there this year, but they've got plenty of them because it's the SEC, and they run arc zone. Now, why this is called arc zone? Everybody is running inside zone this way. The wide receiver is arcing, right? Looks like an arc. He is arcing to the front side, or the last alley defender right here. And boom, there's a big hole. They don't quite hit it, but it's 8-9 yard gain right here. And look at this is why Trey Smith might be a first-round draft. Well, probably will be a first-round draft pick. Watch it. I would like to see him keep his shoulders square, but that's okay. He's got to get into Kobe Dean. And just getting a hand on him right there throws him off just a little bit. Actually, that's Monty. And it allows his offensive or his running back to just make him miss just a little bit. Again, typically you're seeing this ball ran to the right side where everybody else is going. I was totally confused when I saw this on tape today. I had to call my former offensive line coach, send him a video, and say, what the hell is this? Here's the deal, Jeremiah. It hasn't changed that much. Yeah, I had the same. I would assume. I hope you're. I don't know what your fandom is. I got these same comments from Auburn fans last week. Got the same comments. And what happened? They came out and ran the same daggone formations with new personnel. Look, the same offensive coordinator's there. This left tackle still there. This left guard still there. This center still there. This right tackle still there. This running back still there. So I don't really want to hear this comment, because all this stuff is still applicable. When you watch them play, the schemes are still the same. Here we go. Love your breakdown, Brooks. How does Stetson beat press coverage with a 2-deep shell? Looks like 10-yard passes, read 1 safety, or cover 0. Let's try to break this down a little bit. This is wordy. See, this is how you end up confusing people. Sorry. Why is it not showing on the screen? Oh, I guess it is showing on the screen. One more time. Love your breakdowns, Brooks. How does Stetson beat press coverage with a 2-deep shell? Looks like his 10-plus yard passes, read 1 safety, or cover 0. I don't really get the question. How do you beat press man coverage? It's really not on the quarterback. A lot of that has to do with whether or not guys can get off the line of scrimmage and create space. Though I do appreciate you, guy on the internet. What a great name. I believe that. Yeah, guy on the internet. That's a great username. I feel like that's how a lot of people are in my mentions. They're just like blowing me up just because they're a guy on the internet and they get to hide behind whatever name. Not saying that's what you're doing. I appreciate your donation, my man. I don't know. I think that question, you want to run man coverage against Georgia this year and stay in it, Todd Monken is going to slice you up with all those crossers, all those deep overs, all those meshes, all that good stuff. But it starts with wide receivers creating separation at the offensive line or on the line of scrimmage. Why am I watching last year's tape? Because they do the same stuff, man. Same offensive coordinator. Same, for the most part, same personnel. You don't think George is sitting there watching what they did last year against Tennessee all week? My God, man. 8:28. The guys got me triggered. I'm tired of seeing it. This guy's covered 2 shade. All right, here's what I'm talking about. Remember what we talked about earlier, where disguising coverages is so important to what Georgia's doing? They look like they're in a cover 2 man under shell, just like we saw earlier. But what ends up happening is Richie rolls down into the and plays this kind of free man zone right here. Now, he may have just been reading, but it looks to me like he's man-to-man with the back out of the backfield. Everybody else up top, they look like they're playing some type of cover 6, right? We got covered. It would be cover 2 on the bottom, but it's man on the bottom. They're running zone at the top. This is whole nother next level. I'd have to sit down with Kirby Smart and Dan Lanning to understand what's going through their head, how they're coaching this stuff up, because this is totally different than anything I really see. Now, I've seen teams do zone one side, man on the other, but what I'm showing you this for is this disguise of cover 2 is what keeps Maurer from throwing this deep shot right here. He sees cover 2 down in the bottom, 1 wide receiver. So now he has eliminated this half of the field. He's working the top. So when Richie rolls down, watch Maurer's head. Maurer's working the right side of the field the whole time. Now, had he known that this was some type of cover 3 or Stokes was down here on the bottom, he would have taken this shot because Stokes is getting beat bad right here. But because they disguised it as cover 2, it eliminated the whole half of the field for this quarterback. It's a one-read system up there. Just minor little details. Your disguise early in the game or early in the pre-snap saves you from getting beat on what should have been a deep ball down here. Question: how do we compare last year's game to this game? They have a better O-line, different QB, and different wide receivers. Very true. They don't have a totally different offensive line. They've got one new starter, really, and it's Cade Mays. You guys are pretty familiar with that guy. Offensive line is pretty much the same. That's why when they talk about how experienced they are, because they've been playing together for a while, except for Cade Mays. So what was the next one? So offensive line, throw that out, same thing. Different quarterback. Garantano's in this game, but the quarterback really is just an extension of the offensive coordinator. Same offensive coordinator. Same thing with the wide receivers. They're still running the same concepts that Jim Chaney's ran his whole entire life. Might have changed a little bit. Now, the only thing they have changed, and Jacob, you are correct, and we've already addressed it, is this quote-unquote pancake package. And we've already got it. I've already shown you. It's right here. Okay? We've talked through it. But, again, this is no different than what they ran last year. The personnel is just a little bit different. They just got offensive linemen in here instead of tight ends. They still run the same stuff off of it. They still run inside zone. They still run power off of this. They still run counter. It's no different, just with heavier bodies. So you've still got to get a look at it. You still got to see on tape what they're doing and the minor changes, which I've already addressed again. They pulled Wanye Morris this year and blocked out with the defensive or with the offensive line, the additional tackle they brought onto the field. Last year, they were pulling the tight end. So that's why. You still got to watch what they were doing last year. You still got to watch what this offensive coordinator's done over the last several years to get a true identity of what he is. Guys just don't break all of their offensive coordinator tendencies over one season. And if you guys got issues with this, what we're doing, watching last year's tape, get used to it. This is what we're doing on Wednesday night, and it's going to play true. If you don't believe me, go back, watch the Auburn game, and watch what we did last Wednesday. It's the same stuff. We're going to do it for Alabama. We're going to do it for Kentucky. We're going to do it for Florida. So get used to it. They run this bunch set this year too. You're going to see this. You're going to see 7-man protections trying to take a deep shot. This is what Chaney does. He gets in here. He's run heavy, run heavy, run heavy, run heavy. I'm bunching everybody up. Boom. I'm going to throw a 8-man protection basically, and I'm going to have 2 guys on the route and throw a deep shot. We're going next. 10-23. Now, here's the difference. Going back and watching Missouri as opposed to what they did last year against Georgia. They don't do this stuff anymore. They have basically given up all kinds of toss sweeps, all kinds of trying to catch the edge, all kinds of all that. They're just going to run downhill, run at you right into your face. That's all they're trying to do. Because what they've understood now, or what Chaney's finally understood, is it's 2020, and guys like Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, and Monty Rice, for at least some extent, can really run sideline to sideline. So you're never really going to outstretch this guy. You're just not. He's going to force you to get back inside. Used to, you can leave these guys unblocked and just say, oh, my running back's going to beat him to the edge. Nowadays, you can't do that kind of stuff. Nowadays, you have to run downhill, which is what they're doing. Now, here's what I'm talking about with the pulling the free man, I believe. Who pulls right here? No, they're just back. They're just pulling backside guard. Not that big of a deal. But again, when this guy's got you out leveraged, you just can't try this stuff. And they've stopped trying it. They're just, again, running straight downhill. This next clip is just it's a great, to me, it's a great coaching point. We talk about how like disciplined Georgia is on defense, how well coached they are, how they really don't make mistakes. This is it right here. Watch Quay Walker, and we're going to really watch it from the tight. He's got a free blitz, but watch him, all right? Watch how he doesn't lay into this guy. As soon as the ball's out, he just lets it go. Boom. That is the most disciplined, because I would hit this. I mean, you got, it's, what is it, less than 2 steps or whatever it is, less than 2 seconds. If he hit that guy, it would probably be an iffy call for a roughing the passer. But instead, he kind of tags off and keeps going. He's done his job. He's created the errant throw. He's done exactly what he needs to do. But just think about this. Quay Walker last year might have played 20% of the defensive snaps. If it was a blowout, he might have played 40% of the defensive snaps. He gets into this football game just probably chomping at the bit to go make a play. And he comes in here and he does exactly what he's supposed to do and lets up exactly how he's supposed to do. And that's like making correct decisions like that is exactly why this year he's playing about 50% of the snaps on defense for Georgia. All right, why are we watching last year's tape? Why are we watching last year's tape? Why are we watching last year's tape? Because the offensive coordinator hasn't changed, and they still do stuff like this. I call this a hook and dig. All right, all they're trying to do is leverage number 2 right here and this front side inside linebacker. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to run the hook from number 2, the number 2 wide receiver, and they're going to run the dig from the number 1 wide receiver. They'll run this Saturday, I guarantee it. So he runs the hook right here. The wide receiver is working to get free and runs the dig. This hook draws Monty Rice out of this window to create a throwing lane for their quarterback. Now, all week, I guarantee you, Jim Chaney is telling Brian Maurer, you've got to manipulate Monty Rice. You've got to manipulate the inside linebacker. You've got to manipulate the inside linebacker. So what's he do? He stares down the hook the entire time. He stares down that hitch. As soon as Monty clears out, he's ready to go. Boom, throws the dig. Just manipulating defenders. This guy really, if you watch him, he's really not even running like a heavy route. He's kind of just hanging out. And then he tries to evade. And he even goes outward to draw Monty Rice even more. Watch him. He works back out as soon as the ball's thrown. That's why you watch it. The route concepts are the same. They're going to do that Saturday. They might dress it up just a little bit different, but they're going to stay. I've noticed this year, when they go 4 wide, they love doubles. They love 2-by-2 situations for that exact reason. So they can run concepts like that. They can run hitches and digs over the top of it. They can run posts and corners out of it. They can run posts and 10-yard outs out of it. That's why you watch last year's stuff. And I'm going to stop addressing that. I think you get it now. Oh, what I want to show you here is, look, they'll play fast too. They do it this year as well. They'll get up to the line of scrimmage. So this last play goes down, right? Big gain. First big gain really in a couple of series for Tennessee. So what do? They're playing fast. They're playing fast. They're playing fast. Look how much confusion's going on right now. Nobody, half the people ain't even set. And then they get the ball out quick to a nice little easy completion for his wide receiver. And look, they stayed in twins again. Just ran the same formation, just ran it a little bit different. Instead of running the hook, we're going to run a speed out, and we're going to get the ball into Juwan Jennings' hands and let him run after the catch. What is this? Oh, Freeman pulls again. We're going all the way to 1742. I didn't see a whole lot that I like to even talk about right here in these middle sections. Oh, I know why, because it was right before the half. They really weren't trying to score, or they were trying to score. It was just all Hail Marys. I got nothing for you on Hail Marys. Here's what I'm talking about. Front side Freeman pulls. Boom. You see that? They're going to do that this year as well. And he gets out there and gets him a good lick. They're going to bring the number 2 wide receiver down and block and pull the first free man on the front side. Now, if Tennessee's got any shot at winning this football game on Saturday, they're going to have to run the ball as well as they think they can run the ball. That's obvious. But if and when, and it ain't if, when Jim Chaney calls a shot after they get picked off, this is the first play of the next series after he just threw a pick. There's the pick right there. We've covered that on the Azeez Ojulari breakdown. And if you haven't seen it, I'll show you right now. Look, what they do is they spike Azeez right here, but he does a really good job of drawing the attention of the left tackle. And then they wrap Monty Rice real tight, and it gets a quarterback pressure and forces this high throw. And then Richard goes over there and picks that ball off. Nice and simple. All right, here's what I'm talking about. When you get the opportunity to take a shot against Georgia, you absolutely cannot miss it. And I'll tell you right now, look, Chaney is a double move calling mofo. If you don't believe me, go back to the 2017 National Championship and watch what Mecole Hardman did. Okay, they called him all the time on double moves. That was basically his role in Georgia's offense. Sit in the slot and either run slot seams, slot fades, or run double moves. This is exactly what they're doing right here. They're running the post corner again, just from the other side of the field. Now, what I will tell you is the dude playing quarterback this week for Tennessee, I watched him all summer, okay? I was at the bubble over there with Terrence Edwards and Tony Ballard. Jared Garantano and Harrison Bailey were there every single day for about 2 months before they went back to school. I'm telling you, based off what I saw from Garantano, there ain't a throw in this world that he don't like. All right, so he's going to let this ball loose instead of doing whatever the heck Maurer's doing. So Maurer, they're trying to get it to him. If you saw the little shimmy shake, watch the shimmy on his shoulders. Watch this. Boom. You see that? He's trying to show that he's trying to hit this skinny post. It gets J.R. Reed divided just a little bit. And then, boom, you've got to let this ball go. You've got a clean pocket. Everything's good. You have got to let this ball go because he is getting beat. See that right there? Wide receiver's holding his hands up. He's saying, I need the ball right now. I promise you, Garantano will let this ball go. Will he complete it? I don't know. That's why it's a key in the game plan for Tennessee. If they've got any shot at winning this game on Saturday, it's that right there. When he dials up a shot, you bet your money you have got to hit it. Absolutely got to hit it. And they will. They'll do this. They know that slot blitz is a big deal. If you watched yesterday's breakdown, we showed multiple clips of Tyreek Stevenson in a slot blitz. We showed multiple clips of this was Richard and this was Lewis on last night's film session instead of this being JR and this being Richard. But last night's film session, we showed you plenty of clips of Tyreek Stevenson with a doubles formation out here, or two wide receivers walk down and indicate blitz. Okay? They know this is man-to-man coverage. They know the safety's on an island doing something that he's typically not asked to do, which is play man-to-man. They're going to take that shot tomorrow or Saturday. I guarantee it. Again, 2102. I don't think they do this crap in 2020. This isn't their system anymore. They don't do the stretch zone stuff. They're trying to come downhill all day long. Now, here's the deal. They might have to. Midway through the fourth quarter or midway through the first half, Georgia's shutting everything down when they're trying to run it into their teeth. They're going to have to start stretching stuff and getting outside, and they might revert back to this stuff. All right, 2401. This play right here is going to look awfully familiar to Georgia fans. This is the play that Jake Fromm hit to Miko Hardman in the national championship. I believe. Maybe the SEC championship. Either way, against Bama, this is the play. Okay? They know they've got some semblance of man-to-man defense. They know this dude can burn. They know Devon Wilson probably isn't ready for what's about to come his way. All they're doing is running a slot fade is what the kids call it. I call it a slot seam because they're really just running down the seam and trying to fade out away from the safety. But watch. Boom. They're trying to get that guy to flip his hips and just throw it down the field. Now, when Miko was running this, he was the fastest dude on the field. It's the same concept. They're running hitches and a seam. And look, they call it from the left hash, right? Why call it from the left hash, Brooks? Well, so you've got all this space down here at the bottom. When they run this hitch against man-to-man coverage, there is nobody guarding this portion of the field. So they're going to call a play to get a wide receiver into that portion of the field. Make sense? Makes sense. All right, folks. We are 48 minutes into tonight's session. I've done, 3 hours of live streams this week? You guys have been here and loaded through all of them. And guess what? I don't believe we had any problems on YouTube tonight. So shout out to the folks at YouTube, but I know why, because this isn't the ESPN broadcast. So I'm going to change up Monday and Tuesday next week. I'll have details on that over on my Twitter feed. Feel free to find me at Brooks Austin SI. Look, it's right there. Boom. At Brooks Austin SI. Find me over there. Tomorrow, we're going to do live Q&A. So if you've got any questions, feel free to come ask them tomorrow. If you want to ask me what my favorite pair of Jordans are, come tomorrow. Ask it. If you want to ask me what hair care products I use, because I got decent hair, ask me. If you want to ask me why I haven't shaved my face in 3 days, come ask me. If you want to ask me what position K May is going to play on Saturday, come ask me. Tomorrow is live Q&A. We'll take as many questions as we can in about an hour. And if no one wants to show up and ask questions, then we won't do it very much longer. Hey, man. Q&A is his stuff. Sorry. Y'all try not to cuss too much in the chat stream either. I know I don't have any moderators here, but be careful over there because we do have, if y'all haven't realized yet, this is a very informational live stream. It's a very informational YouTube channel. So a lot of people watch this with their kids so they can teach them football. If they got young football players, oftentimes their rec league football coaches aren't coaching up technique properly. Heck, I've been to high school channel or high school stadiums or high school football fields where their coaches aren't really coaching up technique properly. So a lot of people have young kids in here watching the show with us because they think I do a really good job of explaining things, even to the most simplest of forms. So appreciate you guys for being here. Before you leave, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Appreciate you for doing that. Follow me on Twitter at Brooks Austin and show up tomorrow for the Q&A. Appreciate you guys. Love my people. Y'all are some good people, man. And y'all support me in just about everything I do. And I can't thank you enough, man. I really am grateful for everything you guys do for me. Peace out. We'll see you guys.